Have you ever really noticed that when you least expect it, something really, really big happens? Well, we were at the elephant show at the zoo, and we were sitting back enjoying them doing their fantastic tricks as only elephants can do. And the next minute, the show just suddenly ended. And the crowd just stood up, like as in one big mass. We were at the exit, and I was with my son, my 2-year-old son, and my husband, and he was really, really excited, squirming. And it was as if the crowd just snatched him out of my hands because he just disappeared. Of course, I just immediately went into panic zone. I couldn't imagine being in the middle of Singapore and where am I going to find my son? That awful sense of dread just hit me. So my husband and I just split up. My husband ran straight ahead, and I was just looking on all the side rows, thinking of all the unimaginable things that could happen to him. I have never felt so terrified and helpless at the same time. And I finally caught up to my husband at the fork of the road, and there he was. He was holding Josh. A lady had found him, and thankfully she had stayed with him. And when Martin found him, they were like chatting together. I was just so relieved. It was like as if an angel had been sent to engage with my son. The recollection of this terrifying incident just made me realize how vulnerable we really are. It's like we have an invisible enemy that is seeking to destroy us at any given moment. And this incident with Joshua happened at a time when we really least expected it. We were returning home from our mission trip in Korea, and we decided to make use of our layover and explore Singapore. And we were such a beautiful place. We were just exploring all the sights. It was just so much to see and do. And Joshua getting lost was like the last thing on our minds. And it reminds me of how often the devil just tries to snatch us away as God's children when we very least expect it. Jesus was speaking in John 10, verse 26, and he describes us as sheep. Now, sheep have very distinct characteristics. They are both vulnerable and they need a shepherd. Without a vigilant shepherd, they are vulnerable to those predators and they're also getting lost. In John 10:27, Jesus describes his most loved sheep as those that can recognize God's voice and follow him. And in the same story, in John 28 and 29, he uses the word snatch 2 times. My Father who has given them to me is greater than all, and no one is able to snatch them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one in purpose, one in deed. God is so very protective over our salvation, and he is not wanting anyone to perish. And there's a beautiful story about Moses in Deuteronomy where he saw this danger of his people, God's people, being snatched away by the evil one and being succumbed into temptation. And it devastated him. It was a temptation that was alien and abominable to God. Moses saw this in a vision that God revealed to him and before he died, and he warned the Israelites because God had to preserve a race that worshipped him and kept his holy word. He needed a people that understood Jesus Christ as the Son of God, that he was to come and to be born and to save us from this world of sin and corruption, where as a result can spread that gospel commission to the ends of the world. In Deuteronomy 31 verse 21, it talks about us as men and women wandering away from God and doing our own things. And it really devastates God because he knows that we are like those sheep that just have gone away, everyone to our own way. And yet he loves us so much because in Deuteronomy 32 verse 10, he describes us as the apple of his eye. Friends, it's my appeal that we listen to God's voice as the shepherd does to his sheep and understand our secret faults and let them not have dominion over us, as Psalms 19 verse 12 reassures us. Trust in God and you will rise and stay upright without shaking. When those around you are fallen because they choose to trust in a power that is nothing, you will stand still and be an example to the rest of the world what it really means to be a follower of Christ.